What's up, everybody? It's Mental Health Monday with your boys, Chase and Shep here. It's the Chase Shep Show. We do have a
Chase,
guest.
I'm Shep.
We do have a guest for you today. She's run a little bit behind, but she is going to be joining us here in a little bit. Heather Rose. Until then, Shep, how you doing, man? It's been a while since it's just been you and I here at Mental Health Monday.
No, I'm doing all right. Not doing too bad.
Yeah, you keeping that mind right?
I'm trying to keep the mind right. Trying to better myself, I guess, in some sort of ways.
Yeah.
I really need to hit the physical.
Yeah, you and me both. I took a little bit of a slide this week, I feel like, backwards on that. Definitely started gorging a little bit, not exercising as much, but I've gotten out for a few walks these past couple of days, and actually that was the topic I was going to talk with you about today. Had we not had a guest, was just getting out there and enjoying this weather. Spring is in the air.
Spring is in the air.
It's been dope to just kind of, I've got allergies real bad, but it's still been nice to get out and smell the flowers and see everything in bloom, and definitely lifts the spirits a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It does. I like it now. I've been thinking that same thing. Love, taking some headphones and just popping in as a musician, popping in instrumentals and thinking, what can I write to this?
Yeah.
Helps.
Yeah. Like I said, to toot our own horn, next week we got the 420 Bonanza on Tuesday.
Yep.
It's going to be all day, starting at 4:20 a.m. With the release of our mixtape at this point, with 20 new tracks from the two of us, and I'm excited for it. It's a good one to throw in and walk to. And I've noticed just in me listening to it and going for these walks, I think it's going to be one that gets listened to far beyond 420. It's good. It's good for whatever, relaxing, driving, working out. You can cry to it, you can laugh to it, you can smoke to it, you can chill to it. It's going to be a good time.
Obviously, preferably, I guess, smoking, since it'll be on 420.
Right.
Got some hits, man. Unearthed the Green Team song from back in the day that we never put out. So it's unheard. It's unheard before. And it will be, because it was only missing myself. So I was like, well, fuck, I better put a verse on here, and then it'll be a complete, actual full, I think for the first time since then, the full Green Team on one song.
It's exciting stuff.
I always told Pudgy I'd get him on a track, and goddamn it,
there you go.
I got my way to get him. I told him, if you had any problems with it, Johnny Cash actually owns the entire Green Team catalog. You can quote me on that, and if he doesn't have the papers, suck. Well, I'm saying that's mine to release. That's mine to throw out to the people.
Right.
That's where I'm getting at.
Well, I'm definitely I'm excited for it. I'm excited for people to hear it. Yeah.
Got some new ones. Got some remix ones. That's what I was looking for there.
Yeah.
We got some instrumental music.
A couple of remixes, a couple of instrumentals. The whole thing's a nice little vibe for your 420 and beyond 420. It'll just be a nice way to start your day on 420.
Yes.
Yes,
it will.
Indeed.
It will. Indeed. And that'll be popping off next week. We still got a lit week this week. I'm really looking forward to Friday myself, getting to the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Wednesday first.
I mean, Wednesday, the show is going to be lit on Wednesday. Yes.
Right. I'm excited for Wednesday's show for sure. We got Tyler Jacob Moore joining us from Shameless, Barry, Once Upon a Time, many other shows and films you may have seen him in. But yeah, Friday, I'm excited. We only got 2 more episodes left of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I'm pretty excited to see how it's all going to go down.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think that's really all we got on Friday is Falcon and Winter Soldier and Invincible. I don't think we have anything extra this week, unless something miraculous comes along.
I say not that it comes to mind, not that comes to head. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
You never know what might show up.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe some music will come out that we're like, oh, fuck. Never knew about that. Let's talk about that.
Maybe.
Maybe I'd like to play it, but apparently if we play people's songs on here, that's not cool.
Right.
So
we've had to learn that the hard way, the uphill copyright battles.
You know, it is what it is, man. That's been the whole thing. Is learning as we went, as we go along. Got major copyright battles. Oh well, screw it. We're gonna probably get some on the 420 show too, because ideas that I have in my head. I have these great ideas for music. No, I don't mean no harm by it when I take somebody else's song and put it in a skit. You know, if I was able to make some great money off of this, I would definitely go about trying to get these royalties to the people that I was using their songs in my skits, but I'm not making making a cent.
We ain't making a penny right now. So
the way I look at it is I'll give you that line that they give me all the time, and I'm just giving you some exposure.
Right. So that's what I keep saying. Eventually Disney and Warner Brothers is going to be like, wait a minute, these boys are really pulling their weight down here. At the very least, pay for my Disney Plus and HBO Max subscriptions. That's all I'm asking.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
It'd be nice.
Throw us a year, see what we can do.
Throw us a year. We'll keep reviewing everything. In the meantime.
We need to hit them with. That's low key. We need to hit them with some emails and just hit us with the year.
Sounds like we got some clerical work to do this week.
But back to the mental health.
Right, back to the mental health.
It is getting nice. Spring is in the air. You could get out, get down, get outside. I've been wanting to. Like I said, I've been wanting to get a little bit more physical. I hate. Like a year ago, I was doing pretty good, man. That's what I was kind of doing with my time, was drinking White Claws and working out.
that was what you were doing about a year ago.
Yeah, like I feel like that's all I was doing. I was going to work, coming home, and sitting out back and working out and drinking White Claws and just being like, "Fuck, that's all there is to do." And I stopped. Well, I stopped.
What made you stop?
I don't know. I just little bit of like, you get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? You get to a spot where you're like, man, you know, people are giving me compliments, being like, hey, you're looking good, man. You look like you lost a little weight and shit. And you're like, you just get comfortable. So I could take a break for a week. Right. And that turns into, man, I could take another week off. It ain't no big thing. And whatever. I'll get back to it at some point. And then winter comes around and you're like, winter's here now. Fuck it. Like, I'm going to get
right.
You know, through fall and shit, you're like, I'm just putting on my winter weight. And winter, you're like, fuck it, it's winter, it's cold outside, I'm allowed. Now it's getting warm again, though, so it's like, man, it's about time. Get back into it.
I definitely find it's definitely the self-discipline aspect of it that gets me every time, for sure. Of in my head, you know, similar to buddies of mine who smoke cigarettes, who are like, oh yeah, I'm quitting cigarettes. It's like, this is the last one. It's like, well, that's been the last cigarette for years. You know what I mean? But I can only say so much, because I feel the same way about like diet and exercise and stuff, where it's like, you know, I might hit up a fast food place and I tell myself, this is it. Like, this is the last one. This is your goodbye meal to this lifestyle. But it's, you know, it's been that meal every meal every day for years. You know what I mean? So there definitely has to come a point where it's like, okay, for real though, this has to be it. Like, you've got to.
I have that problem. Yeah. I have that problem with candy bars. See, mine's not fast food. Mine's candy bar. Like, God damn it, I love them Reese's Fast Breaks, bro. They are good.
I mean, as far as candy bars go, I think you could do worse as far as like health goes. Aren't the Fast Breaks kind of like, you know, semi-healthy? I mean, they're not healthy. They're candy bars, but like, you know.
I've been on this. I don't know if you've ever seen these, but I've been on. Let's see. There you go. I've been on these. You know, 3 grams sugar in a whole bag. Those are like Sour Patch Kids. There you go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been getting on shit like this. It's a little bit better for you, I feel like, because that's what gets you. Like, if you really look at the back, like I got a pack of Skittles right now here. If you look at,
You just got all these snacks.
if you just look, see, so like 21 grams of sugar, and there's 4 servings in the bag, so that's like 80 grams of sugar in a bag of Skittles. Like, that's a lot.
True.
Like, oh, here you go, like 21 grams of sugar just alone in a body armor. And this is supposed to be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the things I'm getting. That's like, you know, if you're not active and you're not paying attention to these sort of things, because that's where I feel like it gets me in life is the sugars. And that's what packs on and really sticks to you, I feel like, and chubs me up and gets me fat. And if you don't pay attention to that shit, it sneak up on you. You could be thinking, damn, I'm just drinking these, you know, body armor, super hydration drinks.
Right. Thinking you're just super hydrated all the time. Little do you know.
Nah, fam, you
Packing
fucked
on
up.
the pounds.
You fucked up. But man, are they tasty. Let me just throw that out there.
It's probably all that sugar. It's probably what makes it so tasty.
Exactly. But you got to think, they're for working out and stuff like that, which I'm not doing.
Right.
If I was, I feel like the little sugar would be good and give me that little boost I needed.
The nice weather, you know, it helps. I know for me, just getting out and walking. I'm a big walking guy. And so, you know, with this weather being nice again, it's just, you know, nice to get out whenever I can. Walk about at least 30 minutes every day. It's at least the minimum I try to achieve. Otherwise, I'm just exhausted.
Yeah, we saw my walking path on the live at the time when we were here in the Villa Grove.
Yeah.
That's where I go out and walk. So it's nice. It's a nice little path, especially now when it warms up. It's a little chilly today, I feel like still.
Yeah, it was decent today. Like I said, spring's in the air, and you can tell. You know, it's kind of nice to, you know, until I came home and just started sneezing to death. But just to smell the flowers and everything in bloom and everything, it's just beautiful out there. Definitely a nice reminder that sometimes, you know, especially with the Chase and Shep show and a lot of the stuff that we do, we spend so much time on screens. It's so nice to unplug and get outside sometimes. And with the warmer weather now finally upon us, it's something I'd like to be doing more of. Including getting out of just my little area here and my little walking path, you know, that's readily available to me. I love to go out to nature parks and stuff and hike those trails and stuff. And it's been a minute. I know last summer Phil and I went canoeing and you know made the most of the nice weather. So I'm ready for that again this year.
Oh, I love that kind of shit, man. I'm big on that. I'd like to. I haven't went camping in forever. I was thinking about that not too long ago, and it was like, man, it's been like 10 years, I feel like, since I camped out last.
That might be about the same for me. It's probably been about 10 years. Yeah. But I'm not a big camping guy because it was probably about 10 years before that too. So it's about once every 10 years I go camping, it seems.
I'm perfectly fine with everything about camping out. The only thing that I am completely like no to is like about 5-6 a.m. when you wake up and it just feels like everything's damp and wet and moist. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't like that part. Like, other than that, it's fine. And then once you wake up then and you like realize, man, it feels like everything's wet, you just hear the birds. Then the birds kick in and then you're just up. And then it's like, ah, shit. But like, I've went to music festivals and stuff like that. So like, I've learned to get past that.
The dampness.
Yeah, because like where I was, I know you live down in Tennessee, in the middle of summer in Tennessee. So that little damp, nice coolness of everything there in the morning was learned to be refreshed because by 9 a.m., it was pretty much like miserable. So like when I camp, I'm mostly like to like I like to start off in the tent, and then by sometime in the morning, I usually get into my vehicle, and I'm like, screw this, and like either if it's hot, I'll turn it on and let the AC go, or if it's just like damp and shit, I just lay in there, and do whatever. But I could go with it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I could roll with it.
It's been a while. I would definitely like to. Phil's been talking on a camping trip for some time now. He really wants to go camping soon, and I'd be down for that. Just like, but he's been telling me I need to do like an actual genuine camping trip where, like, we go for the weekend and like stay. And I haven't done that before, and I'd be totally down for something like that. I could go for that unplug sometime soon for sure. So.
You wouldn't try to make a thing out of it?
What do you mean?
Chase goes to the forest.
Chase goes to the forest. Hey, you never know. You never know. We might bring cameras in tow. You never know.
I mean, I feel like if I was going to do something like that, I probably would.
At the very least, maybe we won't unplug entirely. Just go off the grid from the outside world.
Yeah.
We'll still bring the technology. We just won't communicate with the outside world.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. It's been a while since not like since I've been in nature, but like since I camped and stayed overnight. Yeah. I like going down the rivers. Tubing is my thing. Yeah. I always think that's fun to do. Just lay in a little tube and float on down the whole time.
It's always a good time. I definitely about died when we went canoeing last year. Definitely had that moment of like, damn. This is it. This is it for Chase Todd. We flipped on a current. Oh, here we go. It's our guest.
Well, now I'm interested in the story, though.
You don't get to hear the story of my near-death experience anymore. That's going to be a cliffhanger. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Heather Rose. Welcome back.
All right.
Hey.
We've been killing time.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Doing
good. Doing good.
I like this little backdrop you got here.
No, it's real.
Oh, that's lovely.
Thanks. Yeah, my two guardians, I should say.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Heather, I met you at the Youth Build program here in town, along with a couple of our other recent guests as well. And I was there filming the racial healing video with the kids, and you kind of were the moderator, I suppose, of that conversation. And say similar situation listening to you with the China is that I was like, I could listen to them talk all day long. I could tell you were definitely challenging these kids, and there's so much great conversation there. I was bummed we had to cut so much of it just to make that video. So as I understand it, you have a show of your own, right?
Yes, I do. Yes. This July, it'll be 3 years.
Oh, nice.
So I'm on 104.5 FM on Saturdays. We air Saturdays 6 to 7:30 p.m. But we have to record due to pandemic ahead of time. So, yep. And that's Conscious Community Connections is the actual name of our show.
Right. And Shep, didn't you know somebody from that show as well? Is what you're saying?
Do I just know DJ BJ that does this thing there at that station.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
He's really good dude.
He's a good dude. Yep. DJ BJ, he has an after Monday, after work show. Let me get it together. After work show. So, yep. That guy
So
is pretty dope. Matter of fact, he is. He's pretty dope. That guy knows how to run. And I mean run marathons. Like I would see him running, and that's just what he wants to do is run.
Yeah. He gets it. He really does.
So tell us a little bit about your show.
So Conscious Community Connections, it started with just the three people coming together, talking about issues that exist in our community as far as Champaign-Urbana, as well as nationally and internationally. So we have a lot of topics that we cover, but like I said, there's no topic left out when we are speaking. We've talked about relationships, we've talked about health, we've talked about business, we've talked about music. At some point in time, we were able to actually, get some music on our show, but most importantly, we kind of phased out because we seen a need for more conversation with our audience as well as people amongst us. So we just, hit the ground running, and that was about three years ago in July-ish, I should say. So we're coming up on our anniversary. A lot of shows or YouTube channels don't last that long, and we have. So I pretty much have been making sure that me, Tiger, is a co-host, as well as Kiki. We are the three, I should say, founding members, but we have since added two more people, and we have a third. He's doing great, but we're trying to at least collaborate with this particular one person. So yes,
That's awesome. Yeah. I have actually not. I listened to. I think I may have found a video of yours, perhaps on the Facebook page, and I did listen to that. I haven't had the chance to actually catch the show itself yet, but that's it's awesome. 3 years. We haven't quite hit our 1 year yet. We're excited to get to that point, but 3 years. Congratulations.
yes, thank you, and keep going. Keep going.
We definitely. Oh, we plan on it. We plan on it.
Yeah.
So, like I told you earlier, we usually just kind of have a generalized talk on mental health issues and things of that nature. And we kind of leave it up to the guest if there's anything in particular they want to touch on. Is there anything in particular about mental health that you'd like to touch on today?
Yes, most importantly, mental health has been overlooked, I should say, in certain systems that we have in America, in which we should not turn a blind eye to. There's a lot of people that are suffering from, misdiagnosed diseases, and some people think like, hey, you're fine, you're okay, don't worry about it, it's just you're under the blues, or you're kind of heartbroken right now, it doesn't really affect you too much, so keep going and go back to work and brush it under the rug. And that's not the case. We really need to open our eyes and be proactive when it comes to mental health and wellness. I have to add the wellness too, because it's all about being well and feeling well. It's a lot that goes on in our heads or our minds that can really affect how we feel physically, and then if we stress out too much, we can literally start breaking our body down, and our body starts to create more acid, and negativity just overwhelms us, and then we have heart attacks, and we break down, and you might cuss your boss out or something unknowingly. Just things start to happen in the mind, and then it starts to affect us physically, and we really need to address this, because we're seeing it once you have a person with a gun, and they might not be necessarily wanting to use it, but something probably triggered them. And when I say trigger, it means that something happened in their environment physically that affected them mentally, in which they trigger and respond in a way that it may affect or hurt someone, and that gun can go off, So we really need to understand our triggers, but most importantly, we need to start equipping us everyday workers all day, every day, with certain tools in order to de-escalate or know what a trigger looks like,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
can talk about this all day. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We tend to get that way. I think with both the China and Reese. Wait until we get to time to close up. Then you're going to want to talk about everything.
Right.
But it is interesting because I don't think we've actually touched on this before. But the condition that I have, what you're saying right now about the that connection between mental health and physical health. I have a condition called PNES that we've talked about on the show before, psychogenic non-epileptic seizures. And it is a physical condition that is caused. They're considered to be non-epileptic seizures because it is a mental disorder, not a neurological disorder. And so my body takes all that stress and anxiety, and it physically manifests into seizures and tension and stuff like that. And I don't think we've ever actually touched on the relationship between the mental and physical side of that. But yes, that's kind of where my journey with that started, was realizing that the way I was going to get control of that was to start working from the inside out, working on the mental health aspects of it. And it's definitely helped. It's definitely eased up over time. And what you're saying about finding those triggers and knowing what those triggers are going to be, it's one of those things it's created a lot of challenges in my life. And I know for me, it's a matter of recognizing those triggers, but also learning how to live with those triggers, and to be able to overcome those triggers when I'm in a situation where there's no avoiding it. Because I do know for me, if I'm especially in a place, if a place I have had an attack, and I associate that place with negativity, in my mind, I always get just that physical tension. All of it comes back every time I enter that place, because it has now become a trigger of mine. So definitely where my challenge comes in is, how do I overcome that? How do I walk back into this place and do what I need to do, remain here, work here, do this, do that, and not let that get to me.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. Oh, yes. So, I didn't introduce myself, or I didn't say anything yet, but I come from, I just recently graduated from Eastern Illinois University with a master's in health promotion and leadership. So I live, breathe, all of that health. I am a soon to be herbalist real soon. It's gonna take some time, but I'm into alternative therapy. All of this stuff happened when I first started school. My aunt, clearly, she was like, you need to get into health. I didn't really want to be a nurse. I didn't really want to, too much be a doctor, but I might just eventually get my doctor's degree, but right now at this time, I look back and I see where I created a path for me in health. I got my massage, my certificate in massage therapy. I do have a life coach, accredited life coach certificate. But my ultimate goal is to have a wellness center. You know, I've been reading about trauma. I've been studying alternative therapy for a long time. I've been studying how the mind works. I've been studying coping skills, different skills to kind of get your mind and body off of whatever need that it may have eventually liked, meaning I don't want to say people have that addictive personality or anything, but we do need certain things in order to feel whole, or we need certain things to stay alive, I should say. You know, we have that neediness in us. So I wanted to find a modality or a strategy that people could start using, you know, so that they won't have to need a drug or need some person to love them for the rest of their life, whatever it is.
Mhm.
You know, I wanted to study certain alternative therapies that we as humans may need eventually. You know, we might want to smoke a cigarette for the next 40 years rather than actually confront our abuser. You know, it's just certain things that I've thought about in the past, but I mostly kind of loved and fell in love with mindfulness, meditation, the peaceful place that some people may just need early in the morning, you know, to get away from those triggers, those traumas, those past things that every single person on this planet will experience. But we may experience it differently. Whatever you went through, Chase and Shep, I might not have been able to go through it. You know, and whatever I went
Mhm.
through, you might
Mhm.
not be able to, you know. So it's
Yeah.
those things. We're able to deal with certain things differently and cope with life differently. You know, I don't want to ever smoke a cigarette again in my life, but I use that as a coping strategy, you know,
Mhm.
in my adult life, you know, and in my teenage life. But
Mhm.
now I use other things, you know, to help reduce the negative side effects of what stress can do to the body. Stress can like break the body down, and that's probably why a lot of people say statistically a lot of more people die on a Monday than any other day, you know, because they're going to work and then they're like,
Mhm.
oh shoot, and bending over and they die of a heart attack or something. But you know, these things right here, we need to understand that the body has signals as well,
Mhm.
mentally and physically,
Mhm.
you know. And so those physical addictions and those psychological addictions that come about, they produces chemicals in our brain, and so we're addicted to those chemicals and how it makes us feel, you know. But you can use other things in order to cope, you know, other than cigarettes. I'm gonna keep saying cigarettes because they are disgusting. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, but you know, it's just I've smoked them before, so I
Mhm.
can say they're nasty, you know. But other than that, there's other ways to, you know, get over the pain and the hurt and the
Mhm.
trauma. And everyone dies, so that's the trauma to everyone. You know, we're gonna get we're going to get that trauma, and what are we going to do with it? You know, are we going to put it in our pocket? Are we going to throw it away? Like, what are we going to do? Are we going to let it fly away? Whatever it is, we need to be able to cope with it, you know, and not
Mhm.
let it manifest in our body, because that's when you know that your body is too acidic. And when we say it's too acidic, it's a alkaline body in which you should try to maintain and eating more healthier foods. You know, so when we talk about the mental, we can't leave out the physical, you
Mhm.
know, because it all works hand in hand. Sorry, I'm telling you, I can just talk and talk all day
No,
about this stuff.
that's
No,
quite
you're
all
really
right.
good. You're really
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
This is why we choose the people we do for the show, because
Exactly.
I can tell, you know, same with the China. You're very passionate about what you talk about, and I can
Mhm.
see that the day that we met. And
Yes.
that's why we wanted you here. So Yeah, we've talked before on the importance of basically mind, body, and spirit, and just the interconnectedness of that. I know for me, when I moved back here to Illinois in it was the end of 2017, I believe, is when I first started getting into the Buddhism and Taoism and stuff like that, and really diving into that for somebody who always grew up not very religious, but having a lot of my religious friends tell me how spiritual I was. It wasn't until the end of 2017 that I really kind of embraced that and dove more into it and realized that I was already living my life in a lot of these ways, and centering in on that and focusing on that and developing understanding has been the biggest thing overall. When like when we had Reese on the show, I believe we were talking about how, I haven't been through what Reese has been through, what his brothers have been through. But when I was there the day they came and talked to the kids, everything that they were saying, I could relate to through my own experiences, because of how they're coping, how they're dealing with it, how they're moving forward, what they took from that. And I always tell people I think it's a blessing that I can learn from other people's mistakes, because not everybody can do that. But yeah, it's exactly what you said. I mean, we don't have to go through the same exact thing to be able to understand another person's trauma. And you had said something else earlier. I forget what it was, but it was uh, basically I use my mother as an example a lot when it comes to this stuff. Uh, because when my seizures and stuff started getting real bad, as parents, of course, they just want to be able to take that away from you. And she really started educating herself on a lot of stuff regarding mental health, and now she has the foresight, with my younger siblings, to be like, oh, I see what's going on here, to be able to look at other family members who, as we've gone through our lives, they always think, oh, well, so and so acts a certain type of way. Well, now she understands why so and so acts a certain type of way, and what creates all of this. Mental health is still something that is stigmatized, and that surprises me. And it's definitely with the older generations. I've learned. I've talked to some people who, in one sentence, have clearly told me something that needs to be diagnosed by a professional, and then follows that up with saying that they don't believe in mental health issues. And it is just kind of an issue, it seems, with the older generations, I've found.
With that, a lot of people don't believe in certain things because of probably their own upbringing or their own traditions, and I know this day and age, I should say today, a lot of people are, like removing themselves from that type of ideology, I should say, that idea, like, it's okay to just suffer from bipolarism. I'm going to put the ism on there. It's okay to suffer from, schizophrenia or whatever it's called. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. And I should go get help. I should talk to someone. I should try to speak about it, because holding that in also manifests into bigger diseases. It's just not one, it's many, and I don't really want to talk too much about them, but big pharma, the health people, they're not going to come at me because I'm real small and itty bitty, but
Yeah.
they make a lot of money off of diagnosing and prescribing people certain things, when if you take some time out, take a vacation, start some yoga classes. I don't care. Start to breathe more, increase the oxygen in your body. It gives your other organs the energy that it needs, and that's oxygen. You have too much carbon in your system. You have too much carbon in your blood, in your muscles. So that's when you start manifesting and tensing up. you know, and that's why you have acid reflux and you have heart disease and you have high blood pressure and all of these other ailments and problems and issues. If only you just took a breather, like take some more breaths, you know, like release some of that tension, you know, get rid of it and kind of try to let it go. You know, you have to train yourself to think of like positive thoughts, you know, be by yourself just for a little while, not all the time, but you know, and start to talk to people, you know, and that's another problem we have as a community, um as human beings. We are just using our phone on a daily basis and not really talking and conversating and really trying to relate to one another, you know. We're having some issues as humans, you know. Talk, speak, you know.
Yeah. I'm experiencing. I haven't been on social media in some time now, and I'm getting back into the dating game. And I always get hit with the, you know, what's your social media? Oh, I don't have one, and gone, nothing, and no more communication. It's like, oh, you're not on social media, you're a serial killer, and they move on. But it definitely, ever since I got off of social media, it's definitely been very nice. I know I just recently got back on Snapchat just to promote the show, but it's been nice to not have it, because I will definitely, I have people in my life who will just bitch and moan and go on about certain things that the only reason they know it is because they are on social media. But I think I've gone on that tangent enough here on the show that I don't need to revisit that. Shep, you've been mighty quiet over there.
I always like to sit back and listen, man. That's always my thing here. I mean, like, this is all stuff like I've went through this past year of having to take a time out and really starting to take a time to myself and do some of the meditation and figuring it out. I was sitting that age in life where it's like, you know, am I doing what I want to do? You know, because I ain't getting no younger, so we got to make a choice here. So,
right.
Yes. But yeah, no, I think that, you know, the meditation part was it was big for me. I don't, you know, I don't know if it's for everybody, but it found its home in me. I like to try to do it when I can. We be busy these days though, so some days we don't get to. But we figure it out, man. Me and Chase got good communication. We figure out little breaks and whatnot when we can get them.
Yeah,
I feel you. Yes, I understand. But with mindfulness, sometimes we overthink it, and actually we are always being mindful. We are, you know, we're always thinking. We are always thinking about the next thought and the next thought, and that's a little bit of a difference between the mindfulness and meditation, even though they are in the same bracket. But meditation can be on a totally different level, you know, where you're not really trying to think too much. You're trying to listen or hear or become more aware. Rather than mindfulness, you can be mindful while you're eating. You know, you can be mindful while you're walking. It's just staying focused on something. And I like to do a lot more mindfulness because I think a lot of things through and it helps me, you know. The meditation part, it seems like it's a certain time, a certain place when everything's quiet, I could do some meditation. But mindfulness, I'm always enjoying it because I can actually slow my mind down, focus a little bit more on something and figure it out. You know, that's like my problem solving, like, go to, like, do some mindfulness just a little bit, 5 minutes, and then I figured it out, you know. I recommend it for everyone. You know, I believe that it's the new trend nowadays. You see a lot of people doing mindfulness, yoga, taking time out to be a little bit more spiritual right now. I think we all should be trying to get a little bit more closer or in tune with ourselves so that we can say, hey, I don't like that. I don't like that you are being abusive, in which now it triggers me to react a certain way. Now it's okay to be in your head a little bit more, to figure out like, hey, you really hurt me, Shep, or sorry, I messed your name up. And Chase, you really hurt me when you said something, and I was more aware at that time, and that just made me trigger, and now I'm, finna go on a tangent, but it's just knowing what's going on, right then, right now at that moment, and it's okay. It's okay to take care of yourself and to set up boundaries. Mental health is really, it's a big deal. The numbers are it's scary. It's like 1 in 4 adults will have some type of mental health problem, issue, trauma, all of that related. 1 in 4 adults, 1 in 5 children will experience stuff like this. That's kind of scary, because in the end, there's no telling if that person, may have a like a trigger, and then they, like blow up their house or something. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I don't really like talking about when it comes to mental health, but I love talking about how to get out of it, how to really motivate yourself, how to start thinking positive, how to make your own YouTube show and, post it and just run with it, and try to get everyone to really like what you're saying and love what you're saying, and let's go on, talking about mental health or talking about what is good and what's not,
Yeah,
Definitely agree.
definitely. I definitely have some friends in my life at this point who I think they choose not to come to me anymore because they know I'm going to hit them with all of this. Like if they're going through a problem, I'm going to hit them with the spirituality, with the getting to know themselves and the mindfulness and approaching their problems from the inside out and stuff. And I think they're just like, I don't want to hear any of this. I don't want to hear any of this. I'm not asking you for help anymore. People definitely get like up in arms about it, and I just go, all right. These days I just they learn eventually.
Yeah. They're like, no, I'm not calling Chase or Shep anymore. Like, I'm tired of him saying mindfulness and meditation. I just wanted to hear what he had to say, and he told me the wrong thing because I didn't want to hear it. No. Deal with your problems, deal with them. We really need to deal with them and stop trying to sweep them under the rug,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I know a conversation that's come up on the show a few times lately is confronting people, and when it comes to people who are being passive aggressive and stuff like that, and having been around passive aggressive people for so long and really not liking the way that felt, I, especially this past year, really challenged myself to, if somebody was doing something I didn't like, to just be very direct. And people always think that to be confrontational you have to be an asshole, and that's just not the case. You can do it and be kind and loving about it at the same time, and I think that's just a challenge for some people. But every time this past year that I found myself in a situation where I had to confront somebody and say, hey, I do not like what you're doing or the way you're acting, they would react accordingly. They'd be upset. They might pop off, and I just kind of patiently wait for them to be done, and then they'd be like, "You're right," and then we'd move on, and we'd move on, and the issue was done. As opposed to the people in my life who choose to be passive aggressive about these things, who have a situation that it's mountains out of molehills. It's just something that's, if you had just taken the time to confront this and not be afraid of confrontation, you wouldn't be dealing with this problem months, later.
Right.
And now it has grown into this thing. And I know for me, I'm an overthinker. We lost a subscriber the other day, and I think every time we lose a subscriber or get a dislike, I like in my head I'm coming up with like 50,000 versions of why this happened, and it could be something as simple as somebody just being like, this is cluttering up my stuff, and I don't know these guys, just so something that easy. But of course, the mind likes to take hold and assume things, and most suffering is definitely self-made for sure.
Mhm. Yes, yes. And that's just how we work or how we were taught, and we need to, what they say, unlearn and relearn. We have to
Mhm.
do that all the time. Mom and dad told me not to do something. They never really gave me a explanation, but they just said because I said so. You like,
Right.
give me the logic. Like, why? Why can't I? Because I said so. Well, still, why? Maybe I want to know. Maybe
Mhm.
I should know. You know, we really need to make sure that we are utilizing our time the best way we know how, and that's by protecting ourselves, putting ourselves first, loving ourselves, and that's what a lot of people need is a lot of self-love.
Yeah.
You should give a crap about if somebody's talking to you crazy every single day. You should
Yeah.
really care. you know that's going to affect you mentally. you know a bully or not, it's going to affect you mentally. you know we need to be aware. We need to make sure that we set healthy boundaries. Don't talk to me that way. Like,
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
you don't need to talk to me like that. Respect me. you know and then the more that I tell you that I don't like the way you're talking to me, the more you're going to respect me. And there's a boundary. You won't come around Chase anymore or Chef anymore. It's a boundary right there. You don't have to deal with me because I don't want to listen to your BS today.
Right.
So don't
Right.
come around me. You know, that's great. I don't have to tell you anymore. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Shep, anything to add over there?
I mean, I've always just been I'm always really good with all walks of people because I've always showed everybody respect. You know what I mean? Like
Uh-huh.
I can't recall any sort of situations I feel like I ever came at somebody wrong. Just because it's like, to me, everybody gets respect until you show me that you don't deserve any sort of respect, then that's a different story.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
that's a whole another topic there. But like at first, yeah, I think so. And I don't know where that went wrong with a lot of people throughout society, but yeah, it's very much the normal to show zero sort of respect to anybody you don't feel like deserves respect. And it's just like, that's you're a human. Every human deserves the utmost respect. Like I said, if you're just going about doing your thing, in your own little world, your business, who am I to come in and say anything? you know and that's just been my philosophy since day one, so I don't know.
I would say when I
And
was a kid and I went to the YMCA and they started preaching the golden rule on you, that
Yeah,
that definitely stuck with me as a kid. The treat others the way you want to be treated. I said, hey, that sounds good to me. And
that's great.
I remember very early on, I was loving what you were saying there, just about the why, because I was definitely that kid. I questioned a lot of things growing up, and so here I'm being told, treat others the way you want to be treated. But then, a friend of my parents would come over, and he's just kind of an asshole, and he's cracking jokes and this and that and the other. Well, me as a little kid, I don't like this. So now, I kind of try to attack back, and they go, oh, well, you can't talk to him like that. Now, wait a second. I was just told to treat others the way you want to be treated. Now you're telling me that there's a loophole. If he's older than me, he can treat me however he wants. That never settled well with me. And there were definitely plenty of situations I got myself into. Some of my friends have dubbed it my superhero complex of speaking up for people in public and almost getting our asses kicked because of it and stuff like that. But stuff like that always bothers me to see that level of disrespect. I just don't understand not being able to process human life, I guess, and seeing that. That's something we touched on a little bit into China's episode when I watched United States versus Billie Holiday, and there was a scene where she comes upon a lynching, and I was telling her just how emotionally I reacted to that scene, about how, you know, there are people who look at that and see that as justice, and that doesn't make any sense to me. That makes zero sense to me, that people can genuinely just not see human life, I suppose. But again, a whole other tangent there. But
Yes, it is. It is. But could we say like, oh, that person is not human if you don't feel a certain kind of way, you know, about seeing something like that and speaking out, you know, oh, they're still human, but they like to brush things up under the rug. You know, they like to not deal with their problems. We have to deal with the things that we like and dislike every day. You know, we need to actually make sure that we understand why, going back to why, you know, why, mom, why, dad? Well, why are you feeling this way? Why does that touch and hurt your heart? You know, why are you reacting and responding this particular way? You know, what is going on up here? You know, what is telling you to, you know, speak up and speak out about different things? Why?
Yeah.
For a reason. We need to protect humans. We need to protect ourselves. We need to protect our loved ones. Love will conquer a lot of things if we let it, you know, but we can't just keep holding on to that baggage, that hurt, that pain, that trauma. You know, it starts to manifest into tumors and brain aneurysms and coughs and amputations of the leg and all different type of things. Health is wealth. You know, we need to start taking that step towards actually helping ourselves and helping other people. Stop being so toxic. You know, like breathe and let it go. Let it go. You know, don't keep holding on to this. But in order to let certain things go, we have to admit that it's there. We have to admit that it's hurting us. You know, we have to admit that, hey, you said the wrong thing. It hurt me. And this is why. Now I can try to let it go. I can try to heal. You know, I can really try to heal this wound, this pain, this loneliness, this unforgiveness, this doubt, whatever it is, all of it wrapped in one. I can start to heal. And that's where we are right now as humans. And I'm going to keep saying humans because we're all the same. We're at this healing stage where we are really saying, hey, it's not okay. Whether you are tall, whether you are short, fat, whether you are with no teeth or teeth, it doesn't matter. You know, we are really recognizing that it's time to heal some things. You know, but first we have to be aware of those things and actually be truthful to ourselves. Like, this is really going to take a toll on us if we don't let it go or heal. So, yeah.
Absolutely. It is about that time. I will say, as a little bit of a segue for our next Mental Health Monday, you were talking earlier about, you know, kind of using substances to cope and everything. And we're pro marijuana here at the Chase and Shep show. We've got our 420 Bonanza next week and everything. But we are having a conversation next Mental Health Monday on mental health and marijuana. And I'm one of those people who I like to have the other conversation that most stoners don't want to have regarding maybe marijuana is not the fix all we think it is. So we're definitely going to get into that.
But next Monday. I will say CBD, I love it.
There you go.
I need to be convinced
So-
on CBD still because
Yes.
it's so hit or miss finding legit stuff. I feel like.
Yes. Oh yeah, most definitely. But as we can say, it's all marijuana. So hey.
That's right.
Hemp
It's true.
is hemp,
It's true.
you know, it's all in that strain. So I think I'm for it. I'm for it. I am.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, Heather, thank you so much for joining us
Yeah,
tonight.
thank you. Thank you much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. We'll definitely. We'd love to have you back sometime.
All right, no problem. You guys have a nice evening. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right.
See ya.
All right, another one in the books.
Another one in the books. Mental Health Monday. Thank you again, Heather, for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Join us Wednesday. We got
Wednesday.
a big guest on Wednesday. Tyler Jacob Moore from Shameless, from Barry, from Once Upon a Time. He's on The Right Stuff on Disney Plus right now. Well, for like one episode, but he's been on a lot of stuff. But he's gonna be. I mean, he's getting his most important credit on Wednesday on the Chase.
Beat on the Chase and Shep show. You better put it on his IMDb.
On the IMDb, the Chase and Shep show. Tyler Jacob Moore on Wednesday. Heather, thank you again. This has been Mental Health Monday.
It was a great
Peace.
one. Smooches and deuces. Till next time.